A black woman at a white supremacist rally. People are shaking her hand and celebrating her speech and giving her a microphone. Here's the microphone. Please address us all. The worst white supremacist rally. I can't take it. Yesterday, the media did another hysterical faceplant. They had this just hysteria about the patriots who showed up in Virginia to advocate. Remember this? Yeah, the media. Oh my gosh, it's like a white supremacy Ku Klux Klan. There's going to be, everyone's going to die. There's going to be a riot. This is terrible. Now, the media, which has never been more out of touch with the people they're supposed to be covering. I saw that on Twitter, so I'm not trying to bogart it from anyone, but someone said on Twitter, I don't know who, well, maybe it was Buck Sexton, I'm not sure. But somebody said, has there ever been a point in American history where the media has been so out of touch with the actual people they're trying to report on? Never. There hasn't. They have no idea what's going on. Folks, I'm not kidding. I would have bet whatever amount of money I had in my wallet yesterday, I would have bet it hands down that nothing was going to happen at this rally. Why? Because Joe, me, and Paula, having run for office and been an activist before I got into doing talk radio and podcasting, have been to these rallies. Joe, remember the Second Amendment rally in Maryland?
Yeah.
Folks, they left
you were down there.
Of course I was down. That's where I entered onto the map. I had that viral speech. I interviewed with Joe's radio station about that when he was at CBM. That's how one of the times right after Joe and I had met. I was at a Second Amendment rally giving a speech, and it went viral. It got like a couple million views. Folks, they left the courtyard in front of the State House in Maryland. They left it cleaner when they arrived. Because what the media will never understand is the entire essence of conservatism is the idea that we respect the big R God-given rights of everyone. Now, media people, let me give you a quick lecture from them. What that means is big R God-given rights. Your right to life, liberty, your own pursuit of happiness, your right to assemble, your right to your religion, your right to defend yourself, your right to petition the government, and the right of you to read a free and open and fair press. What that means as a conservative is I don't infringe on your rights. Meaning I don't punch you in the face. I don't try to silence you with these rallies. If people show up at a Second Amendment rally and they want to say, I don't like the Second Amendment, nobody's going to beat you up there. The safest place in America is at a Second Amendment rally, as was proven yesterday at the Virginia Second Amendment rally, where literally tens of thousands of people showed up. That's not a figurative number. And believe me, I'm erring on the low end to not be hyperbolic. The crowds were enormous.
Yeah.
And what happened yesterday was hyped by the media to be this black hole level apocalyptic catastrophe that was going to descend into like an open civil war in Virginia. You don't believe me? Hat tip Newsbusters again. By the way, folks, I had to cut this short. This montage is like 1:40 long. I had to cut it at roughly a minute. What I'm trying to tell you is this goes on forever. This is the media yesterday predicting absolute chaos, showing again how totally out of touch with the real world these losers are. Check this out.
Right now, thousands of gun rights activists, white nationalists, militia groups, all swarming the Virginia state capitol.
There are a lot of people nervous about what's going to happen.
Authorities in Richmond are on high alert.
It could be a tense day.
Such polarization, what may happen in Virginia.
Several hate groups, supposedly some white nationalists.
White nationalists.
White nationalists. White nationalists.
White nationalist groups.
White supremacists.
White supremacists.
White supremacists. White extremists.
This entire rally stands in opposition to the meaning of this day.
Virginia on the edge.
How concerned are you that there might be some people in this crowd that may want to get violent?
There's certainly a lot of concern here.
Raising fears of a dangerous confrontation.
It could be violence, and there is real concern there about what the intention is behind this.
There's a lot of concern about the potential for violence.
Could spark violence. Tensions high in Virginia may cause violence there.
Northam clearly trying to avoid another Charlottesville.
Yeah. In Charlottesville. Could see a repeat of what we saw in 2017 in Charlottesville.
Similar to what we saw in Charlottesville.
Worrying about a repeat of Charlottesville.
Oh,
Joe,
dude.
Joe,
yeah.
Can you not? The disappointment when this was over by the media. I'm not kidding. You have to. Yeah. I'm on Twitter. I follow. I watch what liberal blue check marks are doing. The disappointment that the rally not only was diverse in celebration of our country and our rights, and that they left the place cleaner than when they got there. The fact that nothing happened, they were so disappointed. You know why? Because now their stupid, filthy, disgusting narrative about the violent Neanderthal, deplorable creatures we all are who can't be trusted with guns and to assemble because it'll devolve into a civil war. Now they're embarrassed, Joe, because that's only at their rallies. Oh yeah, your Antifa rallies? Yeah, those. Yeah, that only happens at your stuff. The pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. What do we want? Dead cops? Yeah, those? Yeah, that's your rallies. Yeah, not ours. Yeah, that kind of bothers them that you guys own the violence and the chaos, doesn't it? Doesn't that bother you? Doesn't that bother you a little bit? Now, showing you what a horrible white supremacist rally this was. Here's a tweet from our good friend who does great work, Antonio Okafor, who, by the way, happens to be black. So, Joe, no one wants to go to a rally if you're black and it's a bunch of white supremacists. So, Antonio Okafor, again, who happens to be black, that only matters to the left, by the way. Antonio Okafor is a strong woman. The melanin content of her skin matters not in this show at all. But liberals love that stuff. So, clearly, Joe, I'm just asking an honest question. If the media, these loser zero jerkwads yesterday in there, white supremacist, if that was true, clearly Antonio Okafor was definitely not welcome there. She's black. It's a white supremacist.
Taking her life in her hands.
Definitely. That is an excellent point. She must have had security. How did she get through this rally? Well, here's a tweet by Antonio Okafor. I'd play her speech, but honestly, I don't have the time. She is at Antonia_Okafor. This is the greatest tweet possibly in the history of humankind. This is so good. I'm going to read it for you. Again, Antonio Okafor happens to be black. She says, quote, I'll keep that up. This is great. Hands down, quote, the worst white supremacist rally I've ever seen! Exclamation point. I mean, they let me speak and everything. People shaking my hand and stuff. My gosh, what would MLK do if he saw all those people judging me by the content of my character instead of the color of my skin? Yes! Yes! Oh, hallelujah! I'm like crying here. This is it. That's the greatest tweet ever. Hands down, the worst white supremacist rally ever. A black woman at a white supremacist rally. People are shaking her hand and celebrating her speech and giving her a microphone. Here's the microphone. Please address us all. The worst white supremacist rally. I can't take it. I can't take the stupid anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, the most dangerous place in the world for you is around a group of liberals with a MAGA hat on. I'm not kidding. Liberals, I'm not kidding either. The safest place in the world for you too is at a Second Amendment rally full of patriots. Let that sink in for a minute. I am not kidding. I was a security professional in my prior line of work. Great, who cares? I did security assessments. I'm telling you right now, the safest place on earth for the president or any liberal candidate to be for the presidency, the safest place on earth was that Second Amendment rally in Virginia. As Antonio Okafor said, and you get a big salute from me today. Hands down, the worst white supremacist rally she's ever seen.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 at DBongino.